Good evening and welcome back to another episode of Everyday Conversations. I'm your host, Martina Kennedy.
And I'm your boy, Mr. J in the place.
And today we have a breaking news topic that we want to change up to. I know we said we were going to talk about come as you are, but we decided to change routes. Being what took place this morning at a school in Georgia. So today we're going to talk about school safety and how safe do you feel your child is at school. So we're going to jump right into it. I'm sure a lot of you have heard or seen what took place this morning down in Winder, Georgia. Um, was stated that a 14-year-old killed four people and injured nine, two being students and two being teachers. How safe do you feel that your child is at school?
Um, Me personally, it's something that I worry about every morning, you know, um, especially with it being at school. You know, it's a lot that goes on within the schools these days. You have a lot of um, kids that are being bullied, and you know what I'm saying, and they look at different things on social media platforms and stuff like that to, you know, uh, act out, right? But the safety within itself for me and mine is at an all time high.
Yeah.
Um, I try to feel I do worry, I mean, and I
Yeah.
don't think it's a parent that's on earth that is not worried about their kids' safety at school.
And how fair is that you send your kid to school or your children to school to get an education, but yet you got to be more worried about their safety versus their education. Like how did we get here? How do we get here to, to just be like you said afraid when you send your kids to school to know, okay, is they're going to get back home safely.
Me personally, it is like the thoughts of that just running through your mind, right? Is too deep. You know what I'm saying? Like you can't really, you know, phantom that, right? So
Right.
it's a thing of just really trying to figure out, and the most you can do is pray. You can teach your kids to be respectful, you know what I'm saying, be kind to others, be nice, you know what I'm saying? That's pretty much, starting out the foundation of teaching your kids what to do, how to do, So
And
it's
I'm just thinking kind of like, bullying is a big thing, and yet we don't know the motive behind this yet. Um, but 14, you just get into this school. So I'm sure it's a lot of people that you don't even really know. Some you might have went to middle school with, but for the most part, like you are fresh, you are a freshman at this high school.
and
And
so you listen. I was having this conversation with my daughter on what it was Sunday, and we was having a conversation about, and she was asking me about, you know, the different high schools and things like that. And I was telling her then, I said, well, baby, you know, your middle school is just a certain group of kids, right? I said, when you get to high school, I said that number increases 10 times over. You're gonna run into some people that you've never encountered before. You're gonna run into some people that you've never seen before. And one thing about it, they're gonna be cruel, they're gonna be nasty, they're gonna be mean, and I said, that's and here's another thing too. And I just learned this, to be honest with you. The
mhm,
emotional intelligence, If you don't teach your kids that now, it's really gonna be, so because our kids, everything you got to walk away from some things. You know what I'm saying? And
Yeah,
and know what to walk away from, right?
right.
But as you just stated, that kid 14 years old. Who knows what was going on at home, or even the ones where they targeted, because you see what I'm saying, or was it just randomly? You get what
Was
I'm
it
saying?
random?
Like,
And yeah, again,
you,
we don't know the
we don't
motive, or we
know.
don't know
Right,
what's with it
right.
as of yet. But to just to hear that and see breaking news of another school shooting,
Mm-hmm.
it's like, wow.
Mm-hmm.
Like one parent was in the comments on Facebook and was just like, this is why I homeschool my kids.
Mm-hmm.
The
Mm-hmm.
kids don't even get to interact, with their peers,
Mm-hmm.
because you have these type of things going on at
Mm-hmm.
school, and
Mm-hmm.
they supposed to be getting the education, but yet we worrying about their safety.
Right. Right.
So what safety measurements are put in place? Like, what is they implement that, uh metal detectors and stuff like that. But I know firsthand that a lot of these people, security is not doing their job. You become friends with some of these kids and you let them come and go as they please,
Mm-hmm.
because you feel like, oh, I know them or whatever, but you don't know like what mind frame these kids are in.
And then
You
here's
don't
the
know.
thing. You're absolutely right about that, because I know quite a few people, that's in law enforcement, truancy officers at the schools. And guess what? Just because you may be cool with their dad or their mom when y'all was in school, that don't mean you know them kids that way, right? Oh no,
Right.
I know they folks. Let them on through. You not guess what? Just cause they folks, you don't know what may be going on. So again, I do feel as if, and also it's the demographic of the area as well with some of these schools, because even right here within our own city, some of our surrounding cities, they pride themselves on, oh, we got a safe city or our schools are safe, but it's a lot that be going on in that too, you know?
And a lot of, hush hush, when it comes to certain
Yes,
things, because you're trying to save face.
face. That's right.
Um,
Yes,
and again, like you said, in different locations and stuff like that. But we don't have time to be saving face. We need to
right,
make sure that you keeping our kids safe. If you putting
right,
people in line to do a job, everybody need to do their job. Everybody need to do their job. And the thing is, again, you got you. I don't think that a lot of these people are doing background checks on these security guards. Y'all just put a body in there just to say, okay, check book bags. You more worried about a clear book bag. And as I stated in one of our other episodes, I feel like what difference do it make? What difference if it does it make if it's clear or not? If you still getting weapons in the school. These kids got all types of ways to get stuff where they want it to be. They've been playing this stuff, their peers been heard about they gonna do it. A lot of times don't about to say anything, but in this situation this morning, they were alarmed about it. They got a call to the school saying, hey, like this was about to happen.
wow. And
So,
they didn't take action on it or anything.
well,
And
you
so
must
and so
must
and that goes to show, hey, as oh, that'll never happen here. You know what I'm saying? Like that phrase right there. Oh, don't worry about it. That'll never happen here. But as you can see, look at the aftermath of what it is now. People
and
got to bear
I don't know.
some
And they
parents got
they're innocent regardless.
yes,
People, children didn't make it home.
right.
Who want to get that call? Like, I've
Yeah.
seen where, a kid might forget something in the car, or parent, leave something in the car, and the parent been pulled off. Then the kid going to school, then come back out. How you know? But you don't recheck this child. because you done already checked them the first time when they went in. So you think, oh, I done checked
Mhm.
them, they can just go on through. But how do you know that this kid didn't go back out to get a weapon? You know what
Right,
I'm saying? It's so
right.
many ways that they can get what they want into these schools. And I feel like the schools are dropping the ball. Who do you hold accountable when stuff like this happens? Do you hold the parents? Do
So,
you hold
so
the school?
well, I'm gonna say this. You got to start at home first, right? You got to start at home first to the fact of, if you interact with your child to find out what's going on, on a daily basis, yeah, it may take you a time, especially when kids go through their stages, you know what I'm saying, from baby, toddler to adolescents, teenagers. You see what I'm saying?
Right.
It starts at home first, and you got to be an active parent within their life, and then maybe if you, hey, what's going on, so it's unfortunate, but um I don't think, um and this just me, I don't feel as if the school is to blame, right? Because you remember a few years ago the shooting that happened in what, it was Texas,
Mm-hmm.
and the even the police officers and the truancy officers of the school was afraid to go engage with that active shooter because, number one, they weren't trained for it, they didn't know what to do, and again, it starts at home, and then and also you have to, again, like I said, you have to look at the fact of most people in those type of areas feel as if, oh, it'll never happen here.
Um, I don't. I'm gonna stay away from that one. But I'll say this: first, we need to start out with speaking to our children about
Hmm.
bullying.
Hmm.
Bullying is one of the biggest factors of a lot of things that take place in these schools.
Hmm.
Leave these kids alone.
Hmm.
Just because they don't look like you, they don't dress like you, doesn't give you the right to bully them. Doesn't give you the right to talk about them because they might be less fortunate than others.
Right.
Those will probably be your best friends.
Right.
But because you're so busy trying to fit in, as we spoke about last week,
Right.
you want to be with the in crowd with the cool kids,
Hmm.
and you take somebody that might have less than you, and you want to bully them just to make yourself feel, wait, what does that give you? Confidence? what
And
what does that do for you?
so, and you got to also look at the fact of a bully got a little crowd, a little following, folks
Right.
that scared of them.
Yeah.
So yeah, they want to try to impress those kids. They want to try to, be the Billy Badass, so to speak.
Yeah.
So, and nothing never winds out good for those kids. But let me ask you a question, right? Let me ask you this: what do you do as a parent when you find out that your child is the bully?
I'm gonna try to keep it PG, but oh, it's gonna be some furniture moving, because number one, I'm teaching you to be a certain way. You
Hmm.
don't get to look your nose down, because baby, what you got? Whatever you got it from your parents.
Right.
So you don't get to look your nose down at anybody. Number one.
Okay. Okay. Sub question to that question: how does it make you feel knowing that you don't know this, right? And your child is moving around you as in like, hey, ain't nothing going on, right?
Yeah.
But now all of a sudden you're getting phone calls from other parents saying, hey, your child keep bothering my daughter. Your child doing this to my child. So what? So Now, as you say, some furniture gonna get moved, but just as within your own self, right? And for me, do you question yourself to say, well, damn, where I went wrong at?
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. And I was speaking to my daughter about something similar to that yesterday because I was listening to the radio and they was talking about how well do you know your child? How
Mm,
well do you know your child? So I
mm,
would say I know my child well enough to know what they'll do at home.
mm-hmm,
A lot of
mm-hmm,
parents, and I have been guilty as well to say, oh,
mm-hmm,
my child ain't gonna do
mm-hmm,
XYZ.
mm-hmm,
But if my child is influenced by her peers and she feel like this is the way to keep your cool points, then
mm-hmm,
you're gonna do some stupid stuff to
mm-hmm,
to keep that, you know what I'm saying? To
mm-hmm,
keep that title of the cool kid.
mm-hmm,
So again, I know my child I know my kids well enough to know what they would do at home.
mm-hmm.
When they leave home, and it's certain things that you can say that my kids would do that or have done, and I'd be like, yeah, she did it.
Right,
She do it at
right,
home. You know what
right,
I'm saying? But how well
right.
do in the in the comments, Facebook, how well do y'all know y'all kids?
Good question. And my next question would be, um, how would so? And we've all seen it before, to where you've seen the parents come to the school and they won't accept the fact that their kid or their child is a problem child. They would rather blame the teacher or
Mhm.
blame the school system itself for their child being a problem child, right? So
Crazy.
when they come up to their school showing out, acting out, clowning and all the other stuff that they do, right? That gives that child the self entitlement of saying, "Oh yeah, my mama or my dad came up here and got them straight." But yet and still, you the problem. You the problem. You know,
And as we spoke about last week, enabling bad
bad
behavior.
behavior. That's right.
It all piggyback to pick to all of what we talked about. Like parents got to do better. Parents got to do better. Like you can't do and act certain ways around your child and not expect for them to feel like it's okay. Like you said,
Hmm.
if they see, well, I seen my mama do it, so what? I can do it too.
Right. It started at home.
It started at home.
It started at
Like
home.
we got to do better as parents. If we want to see change, we can talk about change all day long. But if it's not being put in place and moving forward to change it, like it doesn't matter. We can talk about this all day.
Some of those kids, right? And I'm gonna say, and I can't speak statistically about it,
Yeah.
but I think um a lot of these bully kids that are out here, their parents are not um around like that.
Hmm.
You know, they're not into what they doing, right? So they might not feel they getting the right amount of love from their parents or the right amount of love from at home, right?
Yeah.
So, and don't get me wrong, and we spoke on it, like you said in a segment before, to the fact that some of these kids' parents got to work two jobs just to keep their lights on.
Yeah.
You know, some work at night.
Hmm.
So your kid at home. I had a conversation with somebody and they was like, "Oh yeah, um, my child 13 years old," and I was like, "What that mean? Just because your child 13, that means that you don't supposed to interact with your child?" Like you don't supposed to. Oh well, when I get home, I go in my room and my child being there. So that means you ain't checking no homework. You ain't asking them what happened at school today. You ain't asking them how they feel. You know what I'm saying? Y'all ain't sitting at the table anything, right? So I'm just like, I don't know. Like it's so mind boggling. But like I said, a lot of the kids probably feel like they're not loved properly or correct.
right? And a lot of kids get bored. Sometimes these kids do stuff just out of being bored. Have you
Mm,
heard that? You just sit up and you just plot up on something just because you just wanna I guess see how the world reacts to certain things.
right, right.
So that's on your mind versus being a child and getting an education, doing right. You would rather go out here and do something crazy and have to suffer the consequences for the rest of your life than to just be a happy kid and live your life.
Social media plays a big part in it.
It
It
does.
plays a big part in it.
It
Like,
does.
it's a thing of for them to see it being acted out, right? And they don't understand, and I've said it. It's entertainment. That's not real life. That's not real life. So for that 14-year-old kid that went into that school this morning and took those lives, you know, you can only imagine what they were thinking. You can only imagine, what was running through their mind at that time, right? Like, what is it that triggered you to say, hey, I'm finna go do this?
He planned it. It was
And that's
planned.
and that's what I'm saying. Like, ain't no way, ain't no way a child of mine,
It
you
was
ain't
planned.
fin listen. All that, get out your room, close my door, like I kick it off the hinges.
Hmm.
You know what I'm saying? Like that's, so and again, it starts at the house.
It starts
How
at
could
the
you how could you not know that your child is planning something of this magnitude?
mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? To go take a life.
I'm gonna read a couple of the comments.
Okay.
Um, Sarah said, yes, accountability lies in several places. Cindy said that she blames the parents, but also blames the school board because what are they implementing to keep our kids safe? But yet they say they have uh, security measures in place.
So
So,
so so when it comes to the security measures in place, right? So I'm gonna say this. And as we are witnessing now in real time, we witnessing this in real time. Most schools not doing anything until something happens. You get what I'm saying? So, even though you may have the truest officers and you may have the patrolman that's there or whatever, but again, they're not they don't believe or they didn't think that it would happen. I can't say it enough.
yeah,
Oh, we live in a safe neighborhood. Our area is safe. Our school is safe. Our kids don't. They didn't think that something like the whole Sandy Hook situation.
mm,
They didn't think that that would happen. Down there in Texas, so and it's becoming more frequent. That's the scary part about it. It's
yeah.
becoming more frequent. It's almost as if it's it's scary to say, but it's almost seemed like that's the norm.
Let's talk about how easy it is for these children to get a gun.
Mm.
How easy you able to carry without permit, open carry, yet they see what's taking place.
Well, here, right? Within our own city, you can throw a rock in all four directions and hit somebody that got an illegal gun. And guess what? One of their friends will call, bring me that. And get what? They're
Same
gonna take it to
gun,
them. They're gonna take
same
it to
gun,
them. The
same gun
same,
already been used.
exactly,
Yeah.
exactly.
So
Yeah, yeah.
again, who do we blame? Um, we got to start making demands on as parents. The same way you can't go in the airport, the same way that they have you in the airport, about to strip you out your clothes. You going to the back room, you coming up out your clothes if they feel like you got anything on you that shouldn't be.
Mm-hmm.
I need that same treatment in the school system. Something on that level of high security, something being implemented in these schools.
I get that.
We have had too many shootings, too many situations where guns have been um, found in the schools, even in our local schools.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
But when parents find out about it, they want to keep it a hush. No, we need to know when something like that takes place. Y'all so busy trying to save face, but yet you're not worrying about the safety of our kids.
They be embarrassed.
You embarrassed,
So, yeah,
but children
yeah,
are losing their lives.
exactly. They be embarrassed. And so here's the thing. Can you imagine being in the corporate world and you praising your child to the highs of the highs and the utmost of the utmost, and then something like this happen? What can you like? And you asking the question, who's to blame? But you can't blame nobody but yourself. You can't blame nobody but yourself. I mean, I hear some people saying, "Hey, yeah, the school system need to be," and I agree with that. I agree with that. We take our kids to the school and we put our kids' lives in these teachers' hands every day. You know what I'm saying? I'm gonna have a relationship with this teacher all along. Hey, if anything happen, you got my personal number. Call me. I'm gonna show up right then, right?
Right.
But at the same time, when you have the ones that don't have anybody, or the ones that are there just to be there, like I'm trusting you to make sure my kid's safe and return my kid to me the same way I bought my kid up.
Yeah.
But unfortunately, how can you control the unknown? You really can't. You
No, you
can't
can't.
control the unknown. You really can't control the unknown. So who would think that Tim, and I'm gonna say it right, Tim getting molested by his daddy, or uncle, or a cousin, or the neighbor across the street, and he tried to tell somebody, let
But nobody
alone
listen.
ain't nobody listening.
Yeah.
Or he tried to, or Erica tried to tell her mama or her, hey, you know, this
Mm-hmm.
happened to me, and
Mm-hmm.
girl gone on out my face. Or boy, sit down somewhere.
Mm-hmm.
So now, guess what?
The anger.
They feel as if, well,
Mm-hmm.
ain't nobody here for me. And so now, guess what? Now I got to go to the school because guess what? Yeah, I'm less fortunate than everybody else. They cracking on my shoes. They
Mm-hmm.
talking about my pants. They don't know that I got to wash my shirt out of every night because I ain't got but one.
Mm.
You get what I'm saying? So now all that on top of everything that you're going through, everything that you got going on. So you know what? Now I'm at my breaking point. So guess what? I'm on this video game that's shooting up everything. I'm on
Pray.
social media.
Well, they're practicing. Yeah.
I'm on
Yeah.
social media looking at
Yeah.
different. So now I done
Yeah.
went into a dark underworld.
Counter flying here, baby.
Yeah, I done went into a dog underworld. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So now, I mean, that's the end. That's the result. You know, that's what it is. That's the result of it. You know, now I'm finna take it out on everybody that done did something to me.
And that's what Sarah just said. Anger management, character development, intervention is greatly needed. We don't have you got counselors at these schools, but again, people are barely doing their jobs. A lot of people just come into work just to get a paycheck. People don't value their jobs anymore.
Mm-hmm.
And it shows, because if they valued their jobs, a lot of things would be addressed in a different manner if they were.
Correct.
And like you said, you tell them something, they brushing you off because you
Mm-hmm.
don't want to be bothered, because you want to sit on the phone and gossip or be on social media. You don't want to be bothered with what these kids have to say.
Mm-hmm.
And
Mm-hmm.
just like with this situation, if somebody called and said, "Hey, I heard XYZ was about to take place," and nobody took heed to that, y'all just brushed it off. And 9:20, 9:30 this morning, you got dead bodies.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Damn, man. I hate that it happened, and it's very unfortunate though. You know, you in certain situations like this right here, like I said, it seems as if it's becoming the norm, and I don't really think that most parents. Well, no, I take that back. That's every parent worst nightmare.
Yeah.
That's every parent's worst nightmare. You
Watch
know.
how watch how the amount of children in these schools decrease and start to be homeschooled. So this particular school has, I think it said 1,900 kids. That's a lot.
It is.
That's a lot. 1,900 kids. So here you are, this scared freshman around all these kids, and you already dealing with social anxiety. You're afraid because this is all new to you, and you're going to a larger setting. So you already got all these things going on in your head. I
Mm-hmm.
personally feel that when these kids transition to a high school, it need to be some type of classes in line to make them feel comfortable with coming into a larger setting, and they need to be um, to themselves. They need to be separated from the other kids for at least the first month to kind of get used to what they got going on coming into this big old school. This
Well,
just
well, well. You know, I don't think that you want to have that separation like that, right? Because by you having a separation that way, I feel as if that you will have to just really kind of um it won't be good, you know, because now you're going to create a bigger monster to the
okay.
ones that they are already loners. You
Okay.
get what I'm saying? They
Mhm.
coming into that, they already loners, right? So, and if you separate them, you know what I'm saying, without, because you never know, that person may just open you up from your shell that you are already in. But
Mhm.
how could you be able to be reached if you being separated? You know what I'm saying? Just to, and I get what you're saying, more like of an introductory period.
Yeah.
I get that,
Yeah.
but um, as they say, it takes the village. But the village is
Where is the
decreasing so
village?
much.
Where is the
It's
village?
it's decreased so much. You
I
know.
haven't seen a village since we were kids, because you got these young parents being You don't want to be called, you have these kids with these kids. You don't want to be called grandma. You don't want to be, and not saying that you're not partaking in being a part of the village, but our village was way older.
Right.
Now we have a much younger crowd of parents and so on and so forth. And it does make a difference because the mindset is totally different.
It is. So
The elders have been there and done that. So they are in they settled time, and they got time to be able to watch out for the kids.
but the respect is gone.
The respect been
Right.
gone.
The respect is gone.
Respect
Right.
gone in the house.
Yeah. Right. Right. So and that's and a lot of people may not want to admit it, but I'm gonna speak on it. Sometimes situations like this morning, that's what it is. Instead of being a parent, you want to be a friend.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? You want to be a friend. You know, no, and some and guess what? It's so close, like like it's so close, right? Like imagine the ones that had babies when they were 14 years old.
Right.
You get what I'm saying?
So you're still learning as you
Right.
go.
And you still learn as you go. You
Mm-hmm.
get what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
So, now you and your child, guess what you get?
You
Oh,
grew
y'all
up.
hanging out together,
Yeah.
y'all partying together, y'all sharing each other clothes. You know what I'm saying? You want to be a friend instead of a parent. So guess what? Now when you don't put a lid on things, so
It's out
when
of
they get the
control.
back talking to you,
Yeah.
and when they get to talking to you like you one of they little homegirls or one of they
Mm-hmm.
little homeboys, you get what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
So that's where it's that's what it's been for I'm gonna say
At least the last good 10
the,
years.
the
I'm gonna give you
last
a
generation. I'm gonna
10
say the last generation. Yeah, I'm
because
gonna say the last
whew,
generation. 'Cause-
oh boy. Yeah.
yeah. Um.
I have never as a parent and just being an adult have never felt the stress level of what this generation brings. Like they have taken away the fun, they've taken away our safety, like and even on your job with some of these teachers, I feel bad for them because here you are, you coming to do a job and teach these kids something, and yet you got to get on their level sometimes because they didn't came to school want to talk crazy to you. They want to be disrespectful, but yet you still have to have a certain level of professionalism. And how do you do that if this child has continuously it has become a cycle of this is what this child does every time they come to school? Why do we have to put up with this child or these children that's causing havoc in the school system? You get them with you suspend them 3 days and they come back. They know the law now. They know the plan. It's nothing that has been done that they don't know will be done before it's done.
Yeah.
They have no fear.
I remember 1993, Hayes Middle School.
Hmm.
I'm bucking. I'm clowning. I got sent to Thomas.
I already know where you're going with this.
You see what I'm saying? I got sent to Thomas. When I got to Thomas, there's some people, there's some kids and some girls too, and they were bucking harder than I was. But at the same time, guess what? Me being around my family and friends, when I was at Hayes, I got took up by my element,
Mm-hmm.
and I got placed somewhere where I ain't know nobody,
Mm-hmm.
so I had to focus. This goes all the way back to some kids just are just so, even when they go to juvenile. When I got to Thomas, I made an AB honor roll. My mama got so mad with me. Like, why you can do this at your
Why you
regular
can do,
school?
yeah, yeah. Why you had to do all that to yeah.
Can I get wet? I want to show out for my family and friends. I want to show out for, hey, I'm climbing, I'm having fun over here doing. But when I got over there, when I ain't know nobody, had to stand on my own.
Mm-hmm.
You get what I'm saying? I had to stand on my own. So from, and then it's that's just some of these kids. School do be their outlet, and some of them go to school cause their life is so bad at home. They come to the school to take it out on others.
I feel bad for those type of kids too, because number one, they didn't ask to be here.
Right.
And I know people always say, don't have children until you're ready. But when do you know you're gonna be ready sometimes?
Right.
So
Right.
that's kind of like a it's questionable. Um, but at the end of the day, as parents, it's our job to do our very best to give them the very best that we can.
Mm-hmm.
Even if you got to reach out for help and your child or your son is getting out of line and they got uncles and cousins or even neighbors. Some people will help you try to get this child on track if they
Right.
can. But if you raising a child to where don't say nothing to my child, then don't come ask for help. If nobody can't say nothing to your child to right their wrongs as an adult, as a responsible adult, don't ask for help. That's how they go. Because you're creating a monster.
Guess what? I got another one for you. Oh, they just picking on my child. Ma'am, sir, that's not what's going on.
I would say that you do have some adults, you do have some teachers, you do have some admins that do certain things, talk smart, you do got some that will pick with children, unfortunately. So it's kind of hard to for me to answer that, or I'm kind of on the fence with that because again, you got people that just going to work for a paycheck. They're not really going to do their job.
Right. 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 I totally agree with that. I totally agree.
So I don't know what we can do as parents and as the community to um figure out a method that would work best uh for our safety, for the safety of our kids in these school systems. Um Call or go up to the schools with our concerns and ask questions on what security measures are being implemented, and we need to see, and not I don't need this to be no part-time, this what we do every now and then, because you got some school systems that one day you got the metal detector up there, next day you ain't. No, no, it needs to be up there every day. Every child that enters into that school, and even well, I ain't I will say the faculty as well. But I saw what somebody was saying. Teachers need to carry to
Hmm.
help. They said teachers need to be able to carry to be able to assist in situations like what happened today.
Well, I ain't gonna agree. I don't agree with that
Okay.
because guess what? Adults go through things too.
Mm-hmm.
Mr. Thomas may be arguing with his wife the night before, and
Mm-hmm.
and come to work and have to argue with a 16-year-old little boy. and then the first thing he do is that's how he take his frustration out. You
Mm,
know, Miss
okay.
Miss Miss Smith may be you know what I'm saying, going through a depression. You know what I'm saying? She may be going through a divorce, you know, and she at the school and she got to deal with this young lady that's flip at the lip with her and lash out that way. I
Mhm.
don't
I
necessarily
didn't think about it like that when I
yeah,
saw it, but now that you
no,
put that in perspective, yeah, I
I don't
agree with it.
necessarily agree with that.
Yeah,
I feel security need to be more reinforced. Um,
heavily
I do feel
background
security
check.
need to be more reinforced, and I also think that if you truly want to make a difference, then go to your school board with the ideas. Go up there, be a parent. Instead of just dropping them off, go up there one day and just stay the whole day. You get what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Show your child that you concerned. And I ain't saying that parents aren't concerned, because some aren't.
Hmm.
You got a lot of parents that ain't concerned. But if you want to make a difference, just go up there one day. If your life allows you to do that, you get what I'm saying? Because the society that we live in and the world that we live in, it's tough for everybody. And
Mm.
every parent don't have the time to go up there and just spend a day. You know, some parents when they do get their off day or when they do take a vacation, hey, uh,
There's so much other stuff that you got to do,
right,
and definitely, when you got multiple kids and you're being pulled and tugged here and there, it's definitely overwhelming as a parent. Um, and I'm just speaking for myself, but now I just got one that's in high school. It used to be a time where I was going to three different schools. I was dropping them off, my husband picking them up. Like that alone within itself was a lot.
hmm
Parents, we deal with so much on a daily basis. Just trying to get through the day.
hmm
So a lot of parents don't have a whole lot of time. Not saying that they don't want to have the time to go up there, but like I said before, I might not go up there all the time. But if my child do something, I'm there. I'm not gonna be one of those parents that, oh, my child don't bother nobody, my child didn't do this. I'm not gonna be that parent. If you call and tell me that my child done something, then I'm on the way.
right,
Because now I need to see what her problem is.
right,
Because what I'm teaching you at home and what your dad is teaching you at home, surely, you shouldn't be going to school doing anything differently than that.
right.
So, um, for the most part, for the parents that don't go to work, that's sitting at home parlaying all day, then yeah, they definitely need to be at some of these meetings and speaking up for the community and putting some things in line to reach out to other parents and say, hey, I came up with this idea XYZ, what y'all think? It used to be a
Right.
time that parents would do that.
Right.
So um yeah, but this was just something that I wanted to talk about today. um just kind of we had to kind of change routes with the topic
Right.
because I felt like it needed to be spoke about today. I don't
And
know.
I feel before we end the show, let's have a moment of silence for the teachers and the students that lives got took on today.
Definitely again, prayers to everybody, all the family and friends that's having to deal with this situation. um is never, again, you don't have to know people to feel the way that you feel. And to, as a parent, that's like you said, that's scary within itself, just to know, even for the kids that made it out, they traumatized, the parents traumatized. So this is something that they'll live with for a long time. And even when they become parents to their children, they'll always remember that this happened. So that's all I have for today. Hopefully we can have a better topic on Friday. But we keep having to be put in these situations where we have to, speak on these things and stuff like that. But I think that we need to get the village back. We need to get back control of these kids.
I agree. I totally agree.
And with that being said, thank y'all for joining us today. I hope that parents out there, I hope that you are speaking with your kids and just kind of seeing what's going on inside of their heads, if they're hearing anything from their peers. We got to start addressing things once we hear it, not brushing things off, especially when it's something like this.
Right.
It's important.
Right.
So thank y'all for joining us today on Everyday Conversations. I'm your host, Martina Kennedy.
And I'm your boy, Mr. J in the place.
And as always, thank y'all for listening.